So my brief presentation will be educational independence. I want to share quickly a Vermont model, a Vermont success story, and then Vermont interests. I think I'll mention a little bit about myself. I'm the headmaster of the Mountain School at Winhall. I'm here to share my perspective and my passion, discuss independent education, explain the town academy, community school idea, talk about what worked in Winhall, hopefully answer some questions, hopefully ask some hard questions. I'm not here to tell anyone what they should do, define the model that works for any school, town, citizen, pit public schools versus independent schools, degrade public school teachers or personnel, or pit citizens against each other, just as long as people have that little disclaimer up front. Why go independent? I have a couple questions here. If you could tell me, what do you think of when you hear independent?
Freedom.
Freedom? Creativity? One for me, I always think of. Say it again?
Creativity.
Creativity? Anybody?
Lack of government control.
Lack of government control? Anybody else?
Personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility, outstanding, you belong in my school. Throughout the many presentations that I've been a part of, autonomy, freedom is repeated, quality, creativity, smaller class sizes, board administrative effectiveness. You can make quick decisions. If something needs to happen, decisions made in the board meeting tonight, it's implemented tomorrow morning. School stability, sustainability, financial stability, sustainability. Local control, which I find extremely interesting, that is repeated throughout Vermont from public school towns looking to close their school. Local control is why they want to close their public school and open an independent school. Increased parent participation and supervisory union or state protection or removal from the supervisory union. What is an independent school? They define their own mission. They admit and retain students the mission states the school should serve. They hire and retain faculty based on the school's own criteria for excellence. They articulate a curriculum and program as the school or mission deems fit. The 5 academies in the state of Vermont are all true independent schools. Quickly, one of Vermont's and New England's unique models, this gentleman just mentioned St. Johnsbury Academy. We have the Town Academy of the Independent School community model. It dates back to the 1700s. Very rich history. In short, Town Academy is a private school with a public mission. Towns contract out with established local private schools to educate local children. The 5 Vermont academies, hopefully 6. We have Thetford is the oldest, founded in 1817, Burton Academy, St. Johnsbury Academy, Lennon Institute, Mountain School at Winhall, and the Village School of North Bennington. Core values, independence, operates like an independent school, of course. And I like to say equity and excellence. The Mountain School was founded on the principles of equity and excellence. We service every child, and we focus on quality. Governance is typically a private self-perpetuating board of trustees. We follow the National Association of Independent Schools best practices. Those trustees are held accountable by the mission of the school and the bylaws approved by the board. The board's role is extremely strategic. They do not make any daily decisions. They have one employee, the head of school. They have hands-off on any daily management decision. Perfect example, we're going through a conversation at the Mountain School about a dress code. I do not need a trustee for a dress code. That is not something that they get involved in. That is me as a head of school, my staff, my parents, my teachers, my students are involved in a committee. I do need a trustee for a long-range plan, for a capital campaign, for a new building, and so forth. So it's a very distinct model or very distinct roles. The board does not make any management decisions, like I said. Funding and finances, it runs like a business. If we don't have the money, we don't buy it. Town academies receive funding from 2 main sources, tuition and fundraising. The bulk comes from tuition, but our 501c3 status does allow for tax-deductible donation. And this does require a strong commitment to fundraising. That's something that people will always ask. It's not necessarily, you know, if you take the $16,000 of actual cost of a high school, public high school education in the state of Vermont, even though the announced average supervisory union tuition is $12,028, whatever, the actual cost, it's not the same. You're talking, you can add several $1,000s on to find out what it actually costs. The same is true in a private school, in an independent school, in a town academy. But we make up the difference with fundraising. So Burton Academy is a perfect example. They are just over $14,000 this year. They're $2,000 less than Leland and Gray. They are $4,000 less than Twin Valley. They are $6,000 less than Arlington High School. They do save taxpayers money, but they still have to raise money. Mountain School is the same thing. We've consistently been the best value in the area. Up until this past year, we were cheaper than the next lowest cost school in the area, which was Manchester Elementary Middle School. We'll talk. Our curriculum is community-centered, is completely community-focused. We went through, every couple of years, we go through very lengthy surveys. We did about 150 question survey a few years ago to create our curriculum, to ask our community, ask our parents, ask our students, ask our teachers, ask our board members, who are we, what is important to you, and that's how we decide what we teach. It's teacher created, not textbook or test driven. We use the Vermont standards and the Common Core standards only as a starting point, not an end all. When I keep hearing this transition to the Common Core, I get extremely scared. We have a thematic multidisciplinary program. It integrates the arts and technology with a high focus on problem solving, critical thinking, effective communication, personal responsibility, and real life situations. Also, there's an equal importance on citizenship. Who you are is as important as what you know. And that is something that I think is repeated throughout independent school education. Performance, our graduate consistently perform well at the next level. As a school, 85 to 90% of our students are at or above level in reading, 80 to 85% in math. Our math has increased 25% in the last 6 years. We were 58% at or above level in reading when the first kneecaps came out in 2005, and we have since skyrocketed to that. And I want to note that we have 30% free reduced lunch children and 18% special education children in our building. And so we have the same public population, but we have a much above state average and the national average population, or test performance, excuse me. So this is no surprise when you see a few of the towns, there's more than this, but people who are interested in doing what North Bennington did. You have Addison, Bethel, Burke, Craftsbury, Killington, Manchester, North Bennington, Rochester, of course Winhall did it, and there's many, many more out there. I've received calls not only from other towns in Vermont, from New Hampshire and Maine as well. People recognize the value of independent education. They do recognize that they can have more local control. And I challenge you never just to believe what people say, go out and find it yourself. But independent schools perform better standardized tests, safer for students, have happier teachers even though they make less money, have higher percentage of college graduates, have graduates twice as likely to graduate from college. I find this interesting, that from the bottom quartile, the poorest 25% families in the United States, 4 times more likely to get a college degree for those who go to a private school. Choice works. Cleveland is an example, throughout Florida, Wisconsin. It's really interesting. Choice also increased real estate values, increased independent school performances, it increased public school performance, socially adjusted much, much more. So that's a quick bang